This is the Char-Broil Performance Series Convective 2-burner cabinet propane gas stainless steel grill. And what grabbed me right away is how quickly I can go from a cold start to a proper sear, without chasing flare-ups or fighting hot and cold spots. It feels like a compact grill that cooks bigger than it looks. I would put this in the compact, do-it-all backyard grill category. It is best for people who want real control and dependable heat in a smaller footprint. If you are cooking for yourself, for a partner, or for a family that rotates between weeknight dinners and the occasional weekend get-together, this hits a sweet spot. I live with limited patio space, and I do not want a giant grill, but I still want those deep sear marks and even heat. That is exactly where this fits. The design choices here actually help day to day. The cabinet hides the propane tank and keeps tools tidy, so the whole setup looks clean even when I am cooking often. The stainless steel with black accents has held up to sun and rain for me, and it wipes down easily. The side shelves are wide enough for a platter, a cutting board, and a sauce, and they fold down when I want to slip a cover on or tuck the grill closer to the railing. The two wheels under the cabinet make it simple to roll across a patio, and the locking casters matter if your ground is not perfectly level. Up top, the lid thermometer is easy to read and does not fog. Inside, the porcelain-coated cast iron grates hold heat and release food without tearing. I care about those grates more than any flashy cosmetic detail, because they are the difference between okay grill marks and that even, deep browning that really tastes like grilling. Putting it together took me about an hour at a steady pace. The manual is clear, the parts line up, and none of the steps feel fussy. I am not a professional assembler, and I still ended up with a sturdy frame with no wobble. I double-checked all the gas connections with soapy water, rolled it into place, and it was ready to cook. The electronic ignition has been reliable. Most days it lights on the first press. Once in a while I need a second click, but I have never had to reach for a manual lighter. The control knobs are smooth, and the light-emitting diode rings are a thoughtful touch when I am grilling after sunset. They are not a gimmick. They make it obvious which burner is on and where my heat zones are. On speed and responsiveness, this grill heats quickly. I am up to typical grilling temperatures in just a few minutes, and I can push it higher for searing without waiting around. The two burners give me real zone control. I can set one side hot for searing and the other side medium for vegetables or for finishing. That flexibility is why I prefer this layout over a single wide burner. The lid thermometer climbs to cooking temp fast, and once it is there, I am not constantly fiddling with knobs to keep it stable. Performance is where this earns its spot on my patio. The heat distribution is even across most of the main grate. On purpose, I tested that with rows of burgers and with skewers laid side by side. I did not see the usual pattern where the back runs scorching hot and the front lags behind. The porcelain-coated cast iron grates make direct heat cooking feel predictable. I get consistent grill marks and an even crust that I can repeat from session to session. The total output is 24,000 British thermal units. But what matters to me is that it translates into fast recovery when I open the lid and a steady sizzle when I lay down a cold steak. Grease management is better than what I have had on other compact grills. The grease tray pulls out smoothly, and I drop a disposable aluminum liner in it. After a session, I let it cool, toss the liner, give the tray a quick rinse, and I am done. That keeps drippings away from the burners and cuts down on flare-ups. I still get the occasional flare when a piece of chicken is extra fatty, but it is short-lived and easy to manage with the lid and airflow. Real-world tests matter more than specs on paper, so here is how I have been using it. On a rushed weeknight, I preheat with both burners on high for a few minutes, then drop the left side to medium and leave the right side high. I sear 2 ribeye steaks on the right for a minute or 2 per side, then slide them to the left to finish to medium rare with the lid closed. At the same time, I put asparagus tossed in oil and salt on the cooler side. The steaks come off with a deep crust and a warm center, and the asparagus has a slight char without turning stringy. On a different night, I ran a mixed skewer set with chicken thigh chunks, bell peppers, and onions. I used medium heat and rotated every couple of minutes. The even heat kept the chicken juicy without scorching the vegetables. For burgers, I can fit 6 patties on the main grate without crowding. I like a 2-zone setup, so I melt cheese and finish on the cooler side while I toast buns on the warming rack. That upper rack is one of those features that sounds minor, but I use it constantly. It is great for toasting buns, keeping sausage warm while I finish peppers and onions, or holding finished chicken while I bring corn up to temp. That second-level heat lets me stage food without overcooking it. If you are new to grilling, it is your friend. It takes away the stress of timing 10 things at once. One of my favorite use cases is a simple summer dinner. I preheat, season chicken thighs with salt, pepper, and a quick dry rub, and sear them on the hotter side until I see that first good browning. Then I move them to the cooler side, drop the lid, and let the convective heat finish the interior. While that happens, I brush corn with a little butter and put it on the hotter side, rotating it until it blisters. Up top, I slide sliced buns onto the warming rack for a soft toast. The drip tray takes care of excess fat, so I am not chasing flare-ups, and the grates release cleanly when it is time to flip. Total cook time is short, cleanup is quick, and the results are consistent week after week. There are a few thoughtful touches that have stuck with me. The folding side shelves make storage easy and keep the grill from feeling bulky on a small patio. The light-emitting diode rings around the control knobs help at night and make it obvious what is on or off. The cabinet keeps the propane tank protected and the hoses out of the way. The warming rack is actually useful, not an afterthought. The lid thermometer goes up to 650 degrees, which I have never needed, but the important part is that it reads reliably within the 350 to 500 degree range where I do most of my cooking. The whole grill weighs around 82 pounds, and that is light enough for me to move solo, but heavy enough to feel planted when I am brushing the grates. Durability has been solid. I have cooked through heat and rain, wiped it down, and the stainless parts still look good. The porcelain-coated cast iron grates have not shown rust, and they keep their non-stick feel as long as I brush them after each session. Inside the firebox, I see normal discoloration and buildup where the heat hits hardest. It does not affect cooking. Every couple of weeks, I pull the grates, scrape the heat tents, dump the liner, and I am finished in about 10 minutes. If you keep up with that rhythm, it stays clean and performs like day one. It is not perfect. The cooking space is generous for a compact grill, but if you want to smoke a full rack of ribs flat or cook for a big crowd in one go, you will want more real estate. On windy days, I sometimes need to bump the burner a touch to hold my target temperature, which is normal for open outdoor cooking. The igniter is excellent most of the time, but I have had a few starts where it takes a second press. None of those are deal breakers for me, just things I notice through regular use. As for capacity, the main grate gives me room to feed 4 to 6 people with burgers or mixed skewers without feeling crowded. Seafood does well here too. Shrimp on skewers develop a quick snap, and salmon holds together on the grates without tearing. Vegetables pick up a clean char that does not taste like burned oil because the grease management keeps drippings away from the burners. For anyone curious about the fuel, this runs on a standard 20-pound propane tank that you bring separately. I prefer propane for the convenience. It heats fast and is easy to shut down. If you are new to grilling, it takes the guesswork out of starting and maintaining a fire. If you are more experienced, the 2-burner layout gives you the control to do reverse sears, indirect cooks, and quick high heat sears without hassle. The warranty is reasonable, with years of coverage on the parts that matter most, and that adds a little peace of mind. That said, what keeps me using it is not the paperwork. It is the experience. It lights easily, it heats evenly, it manages grease, and it stays looking good with simple care. I do not have to fight it to get the results I want, so here is where I land. If you want a reliable, compact propane grill that heats quickly, gives you real 2-zone control, and stays tidy on a small patio or balcony, this is an easy recommendation. It is ideal for new grillers who want confidence right away, and for more experienced cooks who want a smaller footprint without giving up searing power. If your priority is cooking for very large groups or laying out big racks of ribs flat, you will want to size up. For most day-to-day backyard cooking, this Char-Broil checks the boxes that actually matter. If you found this helpful, Subscribe to the channel and drop a comment with your questions or your own grilling tips. Thank you for watching.